Hey guys, JKman99 here. I'm going to do my Oscar predictions. This is what I predict will be in the Oscars. I'm only doing a few of the good categories, or the well-known categories, I should say. Best Picture, let's see, Best Director, Best Actor, Actress, Supporting Actress, and if I didn't say Director already, Adapted, and Original Screenplay. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'll go a little bit quicker than I did last year. Best Adapted Screenplay. I am confident with four of them at 100% level. A Star is Born, If Beale Street Could Talk, Black Klansman, and Can You Ever Forgive Me? And then I'm 50-50 on Black Panther and First Man. And again, this is for adapted screenplay, if I didn't say that already. Now, somebody brilliantly brought to my attention that it doesn't make any sense for Black Panther to be in the Best Picture category without it taking some other major award, such as screenplay, or at least be nominated, I should say. And that's right. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be that way. I mean, Logan proved last year that the writing could be put in, and the Black Panther writing really did make the movie in terms of why it's getting this far. But I'm going to go into another theory on that in a little bit. However, First Man was a very early Oscar contender. Like last year, at the end of the Oscars, everybody immediately is like, okay, what's going to win next year? And the first movie everybody started talking about was First Man, and I never understood that. I was like, well, why? Like, what's so important about a story that everybody already knows the ending to? And I've heard about it, and then now some people say, oh, it suffered because A Star is Born was right before it. But I don't think that's it. I just don't think. I mean, when you do suspense about, like, oh, is he going to land on the moon or not? Of course he's going to land on the moon. That's what happens in life. That's what happened in life. So, I mean, there was no suspense there. I mean, what did they expect? So, anywho, and I'm actually really proud of what I'm seeing in terms. I don't think the Oscars are going to award that movie, like, just because of what happened with La La Land a couple years ago. But that being said, I think they are going to still reward it a little bit. And I think this is where it could take some nominations where it might not necessarily deserve it. So I'm going to put First Man in over Black Panther here. Again, I'm 50-50 on both. I would not be shocked if Black Panther made it in and First Man did not. All right, let's move on to Best Original Screenplay. And we have, for that, the four that I'm 100% on is Roma, The Favorite, Green Book, and Vice. And then I had to think, like, okay, what are they going to do? Now, a lot of people are saying Eighth Grade will make it here. And I think First Reformed has a chance as well. I would not be surprised at either one of those. However, I'm going to go off the charts. I think all of them have. I would say I'm going to do something a little weird here. I think Eighth Grade has a higher percentage, as you can see. And then I think First Reformed and Quiet Place are very similar. But I'm going to give it to A Quiet Place. And the reason I'm going to go off the charts here and actually go with something that is very unlikely to happen and make that my final prediction is because I'm thinking back to Get Out. And I'm thinking back to Quiet Place being very high in terms of critics. And I feel like they're going to want to award that in some way. And I don't think they're going to do that with Emily Blunt being supporting actress. So it would make sense to put them in here. And kind of like last year when they gave Logan the random screening award, it feels like Quiet Place might be one that they award randomly here. I mean, now look, they might do some sort of an effect or something like that, but I'm gonna do it here. So to summarize, or not to sum up, it's gonna be Roma, Favorite, Green Book, Vice, and A Quiet Place for original screenplays. All right, let's do Best Director, and I don't really have any. This one for me is a lot less controversial. I have Bradley Cooper, Alfonso Cuarón, Peter Farrelly, Spike Lee, and Adam McKay. For Star is Born, Roma, Green Book, Black Klansman, and Vice. And I feel pretty confident with this. I know that there's a slight chance they'll give it to Damien Chazelle here and take out McKay, but I don't see that happening, only because I don't think there's anything, again, I don't think there's anything special about First Man that would put that in the category. Again, this might be another one of those La La Land, I'm sorry, nominations, and that would be the only reason I would change it from this. There is one other one, the director of The Favorite, and I would put that at like 5% chance, honestly. And the reason for that is I don't think, as much as that I think Favorite might actually win the entire thing, I don't think there was anything super. I think the other movies have more into the directing than Favorite does, in terms of like getting the characters to act a certain way. I think since all three actresses are pretty much going to be nominated for Favorite, I think they did. I think they're the ones that made the movie, and not so much the directing. So there you go. That is who I think is going to be there for director. So let's move on to Best Supporting Actress, and this one I think is pretty easy. I got Amy Adams, Claire Foy, Regina King, Emma Stone, and Rachel Weisz. For Vice, First Man, Beale Street Could Talk, and The Favorite. And I'm going to do a very small percentage for Nicole Kidman and Margot Robbie, but I do not think either. I mean, Margot Robbie getting the SAG nom, I think, was kind of out there, to be honest. I don't think either one of them has a chance, but I'm pretty sure about mine. Like you see, they're a very small percentage, and I'm just taking it out of the others. As you see, I kind of wasted time thinking about what I was going to do as I'm doing this, even though the graphic's going to be right there when you're watching this. So that is my choices for Best Supporting Actress, I think, and that's probably the one I'm most confident on. Okay, now let's do Best Supporting Actor. Now this is going to go back to what I was talking about with Black Panther. So let's do the ones that I am very sure on. Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Timothée Chalamet for Beautiful Boy, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, and then Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? So it came down to three choices, as you can see, for the last one. Sam Elliott, Michael B. Jordan, and Sam Rockwell. Oh my God! No, let's just cross Sam Rockwell off the list. I thought the Globe nom was almost inappropriate. Like his George W. Bush impression is not that good. I don't understand that one at all, to be honest. But this is where I'm stuck, because Sam Elliott will more than likely get this. But it really should be, in my opinion, Michael B. Jordan. Not only should Michael B. Jordan be nominated, he should win. Because he is the one who made Black Panther. He is the reason Black Panther is where it is. You put anybody else in there, and he brought so much heart to that character, the villain in the case, in the movie, that I don't really see that same performance being repeated. Like, it was a stand up and listen to me performance, and it reminds me very much of Heath Ledger's Joker in terms of, like, I mean, that one won the Oscar, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that was the one that just stuck out and made the movie what it was. And yes, you could argue that it was the screenplay. If he didn't have the screenplay, he wouldn't have it. But I mean, you could argue that about any actor, honestly. And he brought that character to life and made you sympathize with a villain more than I think any other Marvel movie I've seen. So it really should be Michael B. Jordan, but I'm gonna be realistic here, and I noticed that Sam Elliott is pretty much nominated in everything except the Globe. So I'm gonna give it to Sam Elliott here at the 5th spot for A Star Is Born. And it's funny, and I'll just say real quick, other people aren't even saying that's the 5th spot. It's like, people are saying, oh, it's clearly Sam Elliott. I don't think so. I really think he'd be the one to switch out. Or, you know what, another one, Adam Driver, because Adam Driver's performance in Black Klansman, I feel like anybody could do that one. I am really sorry. I didn't think there was anything super special about it. But that's just one man's opinion. But anyway, so that's what I got for Best Supporting Actor there. Okay, so let's move on to Best Actress. Actress. Wow. Sorry. So we got Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and then actually Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? So the last one is tough for me, because honestly, if it was up to me, I think I'll only do those four. I don't really think there is a fifth one this year. There's a lot of random ones out, a lot of like Rosamund Pike, Constance Wu, and Alyssa Fisher, Toni Collette. I mean, there's so many people out there that have like minor chances, and the girl from Roma, I'm just going to say that, her only acting job as of right now, and I mean, she played a part that her mother worked, and don't get me wrong, she did very well for having no acting experience, but with the exception of a few scenes, there wasn't too much she was really asked to do. So, and again, I mean, because there's a lot of the movie where she's just walking around cleaning stuff. And I'll give her credit for being in a drowning scene where she can't, where she doesn't know how to swim herself, and they're like, "Oh, just walk in the ocean, you're good." But so begrudgingly, I have to give it to Emily Blunt, who I don't really think deserves it. When I see her performance, I don't see Mary Poppins. But I mean, she's nominated for the Critics, SAGs, and the Globes, so it's like, right, fine. So for the fifth spot, I'm going to give it to Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins, and I mean, I don't agree with it, actually. Actually, this is what I would do. I would actually rather put the chicken from Roma, to be honest with you, even despite my criticism of what I just said. But because again, for a first time act, like, I couldn't do that good. If they gave me that role, I wouldn't have done that as good as she did. So there you go. So that's why I'm saying, but like I'm going against myself here, and I'm giving it to Emily Blunt. So there you go. So let's do Best Actor. I think this one's a little easier to figure out. Christian Bale for Vice, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, and then on the fifth one, there's a. I say it's going to be a coin flip between William Dafoe and John David Washington, and I'm just going to give it to John David Washington here. So that's who I got for Best Actor. Okay, and then finally, let me go through the Best Picture. It's, again, there's no set number, so I'm going to have to assume 8. And I'm leaving out one that I think a lot of other people are going to put in, but I'll explain why I'm not putting in certain ones. So here's what I got. I got A Star Is Born, Black Panther, Black Klansman, The Favorite, Green Book, If Beale Street Could Talk, Vice, and then yes, Mary Poppins Returns. Okay. Now personally, I think Vice and Mary Poppins Returns reviews are not as good as they were expected to be before all the other award shows came out. So I wouldn't be surprised again if there was a change here. And either Roma or First Man was split in and split out. It wouldn't surprise me. Now let me explain why I didn't choose either one of them. First Man, again, I explained this already. It's the story of Apollo 11. It's not like Apollo 13 where probably not a lot of people knew about that. Everyone knows what Apollo 11 does. And I understand it's not just about Apollo 11. But I mean, that's generally your premise. And I mean, really, the only thing that ever stuck out to me for that movie was Claire Foy's performance. That's it. Everything else was just bland. And that's how I feel about that, so that's why I'm not going with First Man. And finally, Roma. Roma it should be nominated for set design. It should be nominated for cinematography, given what they were able to do in Mexico, and with all the sets they had to set up, and even just the random thing with the planes, and I would say the symbols of the dogs, and just the locations they went to, and stuff they did in the background. I thought it was really neat. I thought the whole thing was really neat. but it's not a best picture. It's just there's just too much, not enough stuff going on. And spoiler alert, how it ends. Like, yeah, they have the thing where she saves the kids from drowning, and then, like, the mother is like, I have so much to tell you. And then she goes out to the other housemaid, and she's like, I have so much to tell you. And then the movie ends. She just goes up on the roof, and then they play the credits. What's going on? What were you going to say? I mean, you're going to tell the story. I mean, what was the mother going to tell her? I mean, were they going to adopt her? I mean, like, what? I mean, she was an adult, I think. Like, what's the plan? Like, what was going to happen? Oh, like, I was so mad when that movie just abruptly ended like that. Just like, oh, she's going to go on the roof. And then you're waiting through the credits because you're like, oh, maybe she jumps off the roof or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And plus, it was just a story about the director's life, which I'm sorry, and I respect somebody who was able to get other people to be interested in something that they themselves are interested in. I respect that tremendously, because that's what I would like to do. You know, I would like every video I ever make on this channel to be seen by millions of people, and it's clearly not. So I respect that more than I can describe. But that doesn't mean that I think it's exceptionally difficult to do. Which is, I don't know, it's hard to explain to me. To me, it just wasn't the best movie of the other 8. So, those are my 8. One more time. Star is Born, Black Panther, Black Klansman, The Favorite, The Green Book, If Beale Street Could Talk, Mary Poppins Returns, and then Vice. So, okay, that's it. Those are my Oscar predictions. Leave a comment on the page. Let me know what you guys think. And especially if because I threw out some weird ones. I threw out some weird predictions. So if you disagree with me, please let me know. And if you have any ideas that I didn't come up with, like, let me know that too. Because like names I didn't mention for any of these categories or other movies, because I kind of want to hear those too. Because I'd be really surprised if what some of the alternates I've come up with here didn't make the cut. So, again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and hope everybody's having a great, happy New Year as we're in 2019 now. So that's all I got, and take care.